Is this the most chaotic moment in recent NBA history?
Will stay 0-0 the first 2 minutes. And then look at Klay Thompson and McDaniels. What is going on with that? Wow. Yeah, you've got a full-on fracas going on. Draymond came in to defend Klay. This got out of hand very quickly.
A torn jersey plus a headlock? Absolutely crazy, but this is what happens when a former dynasty team's anger reaches an all-time high, especially when their front office has failed them. We know Klay Thompson was mad all last season because the Warriors refused to extend him, creating extreme team dysfunction. The season before that, Golden State waited on extending Draymond Green, but they extended Jordan Poole. So Draymond attacked Poole at practice, which somehow resulted in 0 suspension for Draymond and Poole getting traded for Chris Paul. Jordan Poole is currently averaging 21.4 points and 4.8 assists per game on the Wizards, while Chris Paul is on the Spurs. But what's somehow the worst of all is that Golden State had a chance to extend their dynasty into a new era in 2020 when they had the number 2 pick in the draft, and instead of taking a current young superstar in LaMelo Ball, the Warriors chose an all-time bust in James Wiseman. Currently, Golden State sits at just 20-20. They are out of the play-in game, and we can only wonder, what if? That is the story today of 3 teams: the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Bulls, all who have made terrible decisions and all who have been paying the price for those mistakes. So what's up, Mike here, and let's start with the biggest mistake. In the 2025 season, LaMelo Ball is averaging 29.6 points, 7.5 assists, and 5.5 rebounds per game for the Hornets. There is no doubt that if he was playing with Steph Curry, we'd be watching a lethal duo. But at pick number 2 in the 2020 draft, the Warriors took James Wiseman, who had only played in 3 college games due to an NCAA infraction. And early on, Golden State would compare James Wiseman to a young Wilt Chamberlain. Ridiculous, as when comparing Wiseman to LaMelo Ball in terms of career stats, we find LaMelo outpaces Wiseman in every way, even averaging 3 more rebounds per game than a center. Not to pile on Wiseman, but he was an all-time historic mistake. If we look at the first 5 seasons of every single number 2 pick since the year 2000, only Jay Williams has less win shares throughout this period of time, as Wiseman ranks alongside other all-time busts in Darko Milicic and Hasheem Thabeet. Keep in mind, Jay Williams played in just his rookie season before a motorcycle accident, so he doesn't even really count here. The Warriors could have built around LaMelo Ball for the next decade. Instead, they've been a ball of confusion. Klay Thompson on the Mavericks has gotten a lot of criticism. He's been average, but the Warriors are in a closing championship window now without a young star like LaMelo. Steph Curry is about to turn 37 years old, and once he retires, the Warriors roster will be in shambles. Now, Klay offered to come back to Golden State for just a 2-year, $20 million a year deal, even after all of the dysfunction, but the Warriors said no, and just like that, all of the chemistry that Steph, Klay, and Draymond had built up together was gone. In came Buddy Hield, who in the first 8 games of this season averaged 21.1 points per game on 51.7% shooting, looking like the answer they may have needed. Only in the 32 games since then, Buddy has averaged 10.3 points per game on 38.3% shooting, and he's been hearing about it.
Enough of the sloppy passes.
Last season, Klay's frustrations were very, very visible. But guys, before we continue, I'm very excited to say that this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. With the NFL, NBA, and NHL in full swing, I want to be watching the games live and in person. And that is why our friends at SeatGeek have you covered. Everyone, not just new users, everyone can use my code Mike10 for 10% off of any ticket on SeatGeek. Sports, festivals, concerts, you name it, SeatGeek has you covered, as SeatGeek also rates tickets on a scale of 1 to 10. Green being good, red being bad, so look for those green dots. And no matter how many times you have bought tickets before, again, using code Mike10 is going to get you 10% off of your order. So what are you waiting for? Open your SeatGeek app, use my code Mike10, and get 10% off of your order right now, because this offer is only available for a limited time. That is code Mike10 for 10% off at SeatGeek. Thank you again to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back into today's video. Golden State's front office, though, has been all over the place. Jordan Poole was not perfect, but he was a big part of the Warriors' 2022 title-winning team, averaging 17 points per game in the playoffs playoffs, the third most on the roster in just 27.5 minutes per game. Poole got a contract extension because of this. The fans were even anointing him the third Splash Brother, but then because the Warriors did not extend Draymond Green at the same time, Draymond took it out on Poole by punching him in practice. Golden State responded by taking Draymond's side and not suspending him a single game. This failure by management to rein in the team made its way onto the court. Jordan Poole is still just 25 years old. He should be a part of Golden State's core right now. Only the front office, because of their own decisions, had to move Poole when he was at his lowest as a trade asset. And in return, they got Chris Paul, who was never going to be a fit next to Steph Curry. Paul averaged just 9.2 points and 6.8 assists per game in a season where he had the lowest PER of his career, and he's no longer on the roster. He's feeding Wemby alley-oops every night. Overall, with no Jordan Poole, with no Klay Thompson, with no LaMelo Ball, the Warriors this season ranked just 24th in the league in field goal percentage as a team. Since 2010, they have ranked in the top 15 in that category every single year, other than 2020 when Steph was hurt. The problem is right there in front of our face. The Warriors had several offensive weapons, but have let them all essentially go. Their future once Steph retires is extremely bleak. The same can be said about the Lakers with LeBron James. In the 2021 offseason, the Lakers looked like they were about to make the decision to sign DeMar DeRozan. Instead, they went all in on Russell Westbrook in what can only be described as a catastrophic decision. Looking at DeMar versus Russ in the 2022 and 2023 seasons combined, DeMar easily could have been the third star the Lakers needed. DeMar averaged over 26 points per game, 9 more than Russ, and his true shooting percentage of 59.1% showed that DeMar was scoring efficiently while Russ was not. DeRozan would also finish 10th in the MVP voting in 2022 and was second team All-NBA, then was also an All-Star in 2023. If we dig deeper and look at the advanced numbers, no comparison. Better PER, box score plus minus, and VORP for DeMar, and looking at win shares, DeMar had 17.3 while Russ had just 3.6. Not to mention, LeBron quite literally hated playing with Russ. The Lakers won the championship in 2020, but after a first-round series loss to the Suns in 2021, they simply made panic moves. Kyle Kuzma and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope were the third and fourth leading scorers on the Lakers' 2020 title run. Both of them were traded in the Russ deal. KCP would help the Nuggets win the 2023 title, while Kuzma went from averaging 12.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game on 53.9% shooting with the Lakers in his final 2 years, to then averaging 20.2 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game on 54.6% shooting in 3 Wizard seasons from 2022 to 2024. Side note, Kuzma himself would make a terrible decision when the Mavericks last year wanted to trade for him, but Kuzma rejected it, saying he didn't view them as a championship contender. As we know, the Mavericks made the finals. Now, recently, the Lakers waived Scottie Pippen Jr., who has emerged as a valuable addition to Memphis. They couldn't afford to keep Malik Monk, who has been one of the league's best bench scorers in Sacramento. And going back to 2021, the Raptors wanted to trade Kyle Lowry to the Lakers. The Lakers needed a point guard. Kyle Lowry would emerge as a key piece on the Miami Heat's 2023 title run. If Lowry was good in 2023, I'm sure he would have helped in 2021. Only the Lakers said Talen Horton-Tucker was untouchable. They then extended Talen Horton-Tucker's contract and refused to pay Alex Caruso, giving us a tremendous list of players that could have helped the Lakers in the past few playoffs and the 2025 season, where they sit at 21-17. Maybe they would have saved JJ Redick from a future heart attack. Finishing off with the Bulls, though, we have 3 decisions here that have made Chicago America's most mid team. First, the Bulls traded Wendell Carter Jr. in the pick that would become Franz Wagner for Nikola Vucevic. Vooch has been solid when we compare the 3. However, the combo of Wendell and Franz would not only be unquestionably better as a duo, but it would also give the Bulls this thing called young players and a future. Who would you rather take, Franz Wagner or Patrick Williams? Since this trade, the Magic have gone from the bottom bottom of the Eastern Conference to near the top, while Chicago has gone the complete opposite way. Lauri Markkanen was on the Bulls. He finished as an all-star starter for the Western Conference for the Jazz in 2023. Bulls fans saw his potential, but Chicago refused to give him a noticeable role and just didn't want to pay him. So after the Cavs offered restricted free agent Lauri Markkanen a 4-year, $67 million contract, the Bulls essentially gave him up for nothing. Lauri has proven the Bulls very wrong. In Utah, he has averaged 23.6 points, 7.9 rebounds, shot 47.9% from the field, and had a 3.3 box score plus minus, way up from his numbers in Chicago, where again, he was not getting a good role. To end this video with just a zero logic decision, Chicago landed a steal in Daniel Gafford in the second round of the draft, then traded him in his second season to the Washington Wizards for Troy Brown Jr., as Gafford last season emerged as a key piece in the Mavericks title run, while Troy Brown Jr. is currently playing in Turkey. So there we have it, some horrible mistakes from some of the NBA's top tier franchises. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. That way you never miss another video. If you're still watching, you're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and peace.